Also with Jeronne Maymon, how she got the news yesterday's redshirting. And really what it came down to, the best decision for Jeronne Maymon was the most important thing, because you got to look out for the well-being of the young man first, then you go from there. So I felt like that was the best thing, which I felt it all along, but I had to allow him to make the decision, feel good about making the decision if he felt what was best for him. So we're not trying to make any last-minute runs to be successful. I think we have enough pieces to be successful now. But you had to look out for the young man to make sure he's healthy and he's well. And I think more than anything, he's relieved about the decision so he can go ahead and really push forward and get where he needs to be. I mean, I said it back, in March when he had the first surgery. I just said, man, there's never such thing as a minor surgery. And you can't take any of them for granted. I had 4 of them, so I know how it goes. And didn't think he'd be redshirting right now at that point. It's just one of those deals you rehab. If it's not feeling right, then you go back and look at it and try to make the best decision. And it just wasn't feeling right to him. And for me, that's the most important thing, because I've been through it and I know how it feels. Sometimes you think it's healthy, maybe something floating around in there. It's just one of those deals you got to go in there and make sure it's the best that it can be. And for me, it was him being healthy, not putting him out there. I mean, if that were case you felt like you really had to put Jeronne out there and push him, he can do it. But I mean, it wasn't about that. It was making sure he was healthy and ready to go. Because if he doesn't feel good about being out there, then what's the point in having him out there?
What's the latest you've heard about the actual condition of the knee?
Well, I can't give particulars about specifics of needs and types of surgeries. But the thing is, he should have a full recovery. And what the trainer and the doctors are saying, he should be 100% full go at the end of this month, practicing, involved in practice, and competing in practice. If everything stays according to plan. Well, he's in the practice, yes.
What was the emotions of the meeting with him and his family yesterday?
I think in Jeronne's mind, deep down inside, I mean, it's tough because you have a guy, you want to play and compete for your teammates, but at the end of the day, this is the best thing for you as a player. And for me, I knew how I felt, but it had to be his decision. He had to feel good about making it. And I knew at some point, if it got this late, I wasn't about to put the kid on the court and try to win some games, and he's not 100%, because I've said before, for me 100% is clear to play, conditioned to play, ready to play in a game, not clear to play and then 3 weeks to get in shape. So he still has to obviously get his body in shape.
What was your deadline? Were you thinking if he's not ready to play by conference play or by the 1st of February?
It was really about this time, to be honest with you. If he wasn't in, see, my gauge of, if you're not practicing in December, then you can't be ready in January. So now, okay, he starts practicing in January, then he's ready to play in February. I mean, it's not like the guy's a freshman or sophomore. He has the ability to play this game for a long time. So you have to look at the guy's long-term well-being in his future.
Was there a time where you were unsure if he'd ever be able to be 100% with it just continuing to linger?
I didn't think that. I thought he'd be able to play again. I mean, obviously the question was whether he'd play this year or next year, but I didn't think because of the status of the injury, I didn't think that'd be a case where his career was done. I didn't think that.
So can you envision any scenario by which Jeronne wouldn't return next season?
No, but once again, I don't take for granted any type of injury. But you also saying a guy can return next year. Joe McCray can return next year, preseason All-League, blows his knee out. I mean, that stuff happens. I went into my senior season, the first team All-League guy had surgery the second week of practice. It's part of it. You can't control that part. You just have to make sure you guys are in the best shape possible, pray that they're healthy, and keep moving forward.
I know you were asked about the kind of finality of the Maymon decision, but I guess over the last month or so, you said the team is progressing as if they weren't going to have it.
Yeah.
Did that thing kind of linger around the team, wondering if he would be back? Was it a distraction or anything like that you could pinpoint out in hindsight?
I mean, maybe Jordan can answer that specifically. I don't think so, because you know how it is. I mean, there are a lot of things that go on with players that the coaches don't know about and they talk about. I did the same thing, as players. I'm quite sure Jeronne might have said, man, I'm not feeling this. I can't, So the guys know. I don't think that's the case at all, because he was always around cheering for the guys. And then when you don't see a guy on the floor, for me as a ball player, if a guy's in a position that I'm playing, he's not around, I'm getting those minutes. That's how I look at it as a ball player. So I don't think so, because players play. You understand. I mean, it's not like you're losing a loved one. He's still a part of the family.
So if Jeronne hadn't been able to redshirt, and so you'd had him this whatever's left of this year, At any point in the season, could he have come back, do you think, and been 100%?
I think so. I think so. Looking at him now, yes, I do. But I just think you get to a point where it's so long. But don't get me wrong, you have guys that have been around situations that say, man, I want to play whenever I can play, get it over with so I can go ahead and move on with my life. I mean, I loved college for 4 years. But when it was over, I was happy it was over, and not in a bad way. Just I served my time. I did what I needed to do. It's time to move on.